Hi, I'm Andrea, and I care for my mother who's been living with dementia. On this channel, I share my caregiving journey, the lessons, the love, and the faith that carries me through. Let us encourage and support each other as we journey together. Hello to all my YouTube family and friends. Welcome back to A Caregiver's Love. If you are new here, my name is Andrea, and this is a place where caregivers are seen, heard, encouraged, and reminded that they never have to walk this journey alone. And if you have been with me since episode 1, welcome back. Thank you for continuing this journey with me. If today is your very first episode, I am especially glad you are here. This series is for every caregiver who has been learning that grief isn't something we simply get over. It's something we learn to walk through with God's help, one step at a time. Today, I would like to ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you're living in a different time zone from everyone else? No, I don't mean the kind of time zone that's marked on a map. I mean the kind your heart lives after you have lost someone you really, really loved. The calendar keeps moving. Birthdays come and go. The seasons change. People go back out to work. Children keep growing. Family gatherings become joyful again. Life just keeps moving. But there are mornings when your heart wakes up and it feels as though the loss happened just yesterday. Have you ever felt that way? Sometimes, without even realizing, we begin looking around and wondering, how is everyone else moving forward while I'm still trying to find my footing? And before long, another question quietly follows. What's wrong with me? If you have ever asked yourself that question, can I answer it as gentle as I know how? There is nothing wrong with you. You are grieving someone you love deeply. You know, I've never seen anyone walk up to a parent holding a newborn baby and say to them, be careful not to love that baby too much. We don't say that because we celebrate deep love. We admire it. We encourage it. In fact, when we see love like that, it warms our hearts. So why are we surprised that deep love, when it leaves us, it leaves deep grief? The pain you're feeling today isn't proof that you are broken. It's proof that someone was loved deeply. And love doesn't disappear simply because time has passed. Mhm. That's why I don't believe grief follows a calendar at all. Nope. I believe grief follows love. Why are you grieving if you didn't love the person? So it tells me that the deeper the love, the deeper the loss, right? I think that's something our world sometimes forgets. Mhm. When someone first experiences a loss, people naturally gather around them. Some people prepare meals for them. Some people send sympathy cards in the mail. The phone will ring and people will often check in on you. And those acts of kindness mean so much. But life has a way of continuing. People go back to work and the children go back to school. Everybody's schedule starts filling up again. And before long, many grieving people find themselves standing in the middle of an ordinary day, wondering, why does everyone seem okay around me while I'm still hurting inside? It isn't because people have stopped caring. No. It is simply because they are living a different chapter of the story than you are. Can I share a picture that helped me understand this? Yeah. Imagine, and it's only an imagination, imagine breaking your leg. The day you come home wearing a cast, everyone can see that you're injured, right? Because you have on a cast. People will hold the door for you. They'll also volunteer to carry your things for you. And people are very kind to you. They remind you not to put down weight on your leg, lest you will damage yourself. Right? Several weeks later, you go back to the doctor and the doctor removes the cast. The foot is not properly healed enough, but everyone celebrates that the cast is gone and they say you are healed. But anyone who's ever been through physical therapy knows that that's only part of the story, really. The bone may be healing, but the muscles are still weak and you still need all of this therapy to get you back and get your balance back up to normal, right? You're still learning how to walk with confidence again. Still learning. And healing didn't stop when the cast came off. It didn't. It simply entered a different stage. I think grief is very much like that. In the beginning, everyone can see your pain. Unfortunately, later they can't. But just because your grief is no longer visible, it doesn't mean it no longer exists, right? Maybe that's where you are today. The world looks at you and thinks, she's doing much better, or he's doing much better. But only you and God knows how much strength it took just to get out of bed this morning, or to go to church. or maybe even to sit at the dinner table with others, or simply just to keep showing up. Please don't underestimate the quiet courage that takes. As I was thinking about all of this, my mind kept returning to one of my favorite passages in scripture, and that's John chapter 11. Jesus stood outside the tomb of Lazarus. Now here's what amazes me. Jesus already knew what he was about to do. Yep, he did. He knew resurrection was only moments away. Yeah, he knew death would not have the final word or the final say in this situation. Yet before he performed that miracle, he stood beside those who were grieving. And the Bible tells us Jesus wept. It's not no pretty cry. He wept. I've thought about that many times before. If anyone could have said, "Don't cry, everything is going to be okay," it was Jesus, right? But instead, he entered into their sorrow and he grieved with them. He made room for their grief. And I think that's such a beautiful reminder that God never asks us to rush past what Jesus himself was willing to enter. Maybe God isn't asking you to hurry through your grief. Nope. Maybe he's simply inviting you to let him walk through your grieving with you. Psalm 56 tells us that God collects our tears in his bottle. Just think about that. What a beautiful assurance. Every tear you've ever cried, every sleepless night that you have ever experienced, every prayer you have whispered when no one else was awake, God has seen every single one of them. So I'm here to tell you today, if you're still grieving, please don't measure your healing by how long it has been since you started grieving. Measure by how faithful God has carried you through up to this point. When you look back, you may still have more tears within you. But I hope you'll also see his faithfulness, his strength, his very presence with you. The fact that you're still standing today isn't because you have been strong every moment. No. It's because God has been faithful every moment. Before we close, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Well-meaning people may tell you it's time to move on. I understand why they say that. They don't like seeing you hurt. Nobody does. They want your pain to come to an end. But I don't believe God is asking you to move on. Moving on sounds like leaving someone behind, right? Love doesn't do that. I believe God gently teaches us to move forward. Forward does not mean forgetting. Forward does not mean loving them less. Forward means carrying their love, carrying their influence, the lessons that they passed down to you, the memories you shared into every new season God has prepared for you. That's very different. So if you have been wondering why everyone else seems to have moved on while you are still grieving, remember this. Don't measure your healing by how long it has been since you started grieving. Measure it by how faithful God has carried you. And as you continue this journey, walk at the pace of grace. God isn't rushing you one bit, and neither am I. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If today's conversation encouraged you in any way, I'd love for you to leave a comment below. I'd love for you to share it with other people. What is one thing you wish people understood about grief? Your words may be exactly what another caregiver needs to hear today. And if you know someone who is quietly carrying grief, would you consider sharing this video with them? It may remind them that they are not walking this road alone. Until next time, let me encourage you to love upon your loved ones right now while they still can appreciate your love. Walk good. Goodbye.